You are listening to Season 2 of The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, the short and often daily podcast in which I chronicle my life and attempt to be a writer by writing daily. Sometimes. Hello, today is Wednesday the 26th of February 2025. You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, and I'm just trying to close all the rings on my Apple Watch today. So as I record this, I am indeed pacing up and down my hotel room because I'm completely sane and totally normal. Didn't do any writing today, didn't think I would, because I've been working all day basically. I got up at 7:30 and I flew to... where do we go? Geneva and back, and then flew to Manchester. So I'm night stopping in Manchester tonight, and then tomorrow we come back from Manchester, and then I've got Frankfurt there and back. But I'm still on a bit of a high from getting everything done that I wanted to get done yesterday. So, yes, all 42 chapters now that I've written are edited. The only minor issue I've got, I think I might have mentioned this once in the past. So I wanted to get an idea of how my word count was running at the moment for this book. And so what I did was I basically just at the moment all the chapters are in separate documents. So I literally created a spreadsheet, typed out all the chapter numbers, and then opened all the documents and wrote in the word count, and then I noticed that chapters 1 and 2 had the same word count, which was a little bit unlikely, to be honest. So I looked at chapters 1 and 2, and chapter 1 was chapter 2. I don't know what had happened to my copy of chapter 1, which is a bit annoying. Now, I do meticulously archive everything, not just on the cloud. I email stuff to myself, I keep everything, and basically, so the first draft copy before I edited it, because remember the first 31 chapters of this book I edited after I'd written them, a long time after I'd written them, because it wasn't until I came back to this book last year that I moved to my write edit model. When I started it, I was just doing the write model, then editing the whole thing afterwards. Anyway, so my copy of chapter 1 that I've got on the computer is the fell out of my head before I've done any editing work on it, and it's not great. But luckily, as well as... So what I do whenever I do the editing, if you've seen me do it on Twitch, you'll see, when I do the editing, I actually physically write the changes onto the paper. So I print out the chapter, and then I just basically change everything with a pen. So I have got a copy of the edited version of chapter 1. It's just a bit all over the place because it's basically bits of paper with biro marks all over it, but that's fine. It means I can recreate what my intention was very easily. And what I'll do, I think I'll just do a full edit sweep. Well, I'll change it based on what are on those notes, and then I'll do a full edit sweep of that chapter just to be on the safe side. Now, if I'd thought about it, I'd have actually brought that with me to Manchester. But this is quite late now, isn't it? What time is it now? 9:20 at night. It has been a long day and I'm really tired. So even if I had intended to do it tonight, I suspect I probably would have got to my hotel. I mean, literally got to the hotel, and I'm recording this, and I've done a couple of other bits and pieces, but mainly my plan is sleep. Luckily, it's not one of the really early pickups. So sometimes if we're the first flight out, my God, our wake-up call is at 4:20 in the morning or something crazy like that, and it's like 9:20, so I better properly rest and properly sleep, which is going to be nice. So that's the little job I need to do at some point, and that is kind of just play with chapter 1. And then the other thing, which I probably will start this month if I get time, there's only 2 days left, is chapter 43. Now that's literally it is definitely the last chapter of Empress. It's the one where the few scenes that I hadn't written that would have been in chapter 42, but it got too long. It'll be those scenes. So it's key character stuff, really. So it's the resurrection of Dani, the death of Ursula, and just character stuff mainly, because most of the post extinction, I say extinction actually isn't, because obviously some of my characters survived, but the majority of the human race was wiped out, so everybody refers to it colloquially as the extinction, even though they all know technically that's wrong. But yeah, so post the extinction, most of the stuff I'm doing really is character stuff, because the thrust of the story is done. So, yeah. So, yes, I don't know how much I'll get done, but that's fine. The other thing to remind you is that Friday's show, I've pre-recorded. It's an interview with T.G. Campbell, my friend who writes the Bow Street Society books, because the 7th book in the series, The Case of the... Let me get this right. I'm very tired. The Case of the Fatal Flaw comes out on Friday. It's only 2 days from now, actually. So we've recorded a nice little interview talking about it. Unusually, not on Spotify, but on YouTube, the same episode will be available as a video. So I interviewed her over, it wasn't Skype, but it was something like Skype. What's it called? Zoom, maybe? Probably over Zoom, yeah. So I interviewed Tani over Zoom, and we had a nice little chat. And so the audio from that will go on the audio version of the podcast, which is available on Spotify. But there will be 2 video versions available on YouTube. One that literally is the episode of the podcast, so it's the same length as the podcast. And then an extended one, which is not specifically an episode of the podcast. It's more aimed at her readers to be able to have a look and see what she has to say about the forthcoming book. So yeah, that's it. Tomorrow I will do one of these. I can't believe this is show 50 already this year. That's absolutely crazy. And it also means if this is show 50 and I did 200 last year, ignoring the kind of bonus episodes I did around Christmas, this is the 250th episode of this rubbish. Madness. Anyway, that'll do me. I shall talk to you about nothing in particular tomorrow. You'll get the Tani interview on Friday, and then it'll be another month. It'll be March. Thank you for listening. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye-bye.
You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. For more information about what I'm writing, go to linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W, where you can find details of my website and social media. I may see you there.